Hello and welcome to English Capsules. Today's capsule, Friday 13th. Don't get married on embark. Get your coffee ready and let's get started.
Welcome once again to our episodes. Today we're going to be speaking about luck. Uh, as today it is Friday the 13th, we thought it appropriate to debate about this interesting topic.
So, I would start with, do you believe in bad luck?
I think that if you believe in bad luck, you also believe in good luck. So it's like you believe in luck in general. Many times people say, luckily, this happened to me, or I am very unlucky. And for me, I don't agree so much with those uh, thoughts, let's say. For me, things happen because they have to happen, and you are not lucky or unlucky. In a way, you are the protagonist. You are the one who determines the outcomes, right? So um, that is what happens. I mean, it's a tendency for people to say, uh, luckily I got this job. No, you didn't get it out of luck. You got it because maybe you were good, because you had the skills. There are things that happen that are not related to luck for me.
Okay,
But it's not so easy not to believe in luck because I think it's a concept that is very attached to cultures.
it's like something happens and you can't explain why this thing happened. So, instead of giving it to a higher power, you say it's a matter of luck.
Why people usually have lucky charms, for instance, like the rabbit paw in some cultures. I don't know.
The four-leaf clover.
Asian people have the this cat that moves the hand to
True.
attract prosperity. So
And in Greece, you can buy blue and purple and all of that.
in
I
English it is
don't.
called evil eye, and in Spanish, despite you can buy it in Greece, in Spanish it is called ojo turco. There is always a kind of lucky charm in all the cultures because we are mentioning different cultures, and all of them have something to attribute luck to. It's like, okay, this gives me luck. And if we take this to sports, for instance, I have students who are soccer players, for example, and they tell me that if, for example, one day they scored a goal and they were wearing red underwear, every match they are going to wear red underwear.
There are some players that always stand on the pitch with the right foot because otherwise it's bad luck.
Well, if you think about soccer players, many of them do that. But in the case of Argentina national team, the trainer also does that. Not only the players. They, I think that in sports it is more important.
I have a friend who is a fan of Atlético de Madrid.
Mhm.
So he's got like all these rituals before watching a match.
Here, I remember in the last World Cup that there were people having rituals, and these rituals that we called in Spanish cábalas, right?
Mm.
I don't know if the name is the same in English, but uh, for example, if we watched the game at your house and Argentina is playing again, we are all going again to your house, and we are going to sit in the same position. I mean, facing at, or we are all going to eat the same. It's like it's a ritual.
That happened in my house. But
So
we also had a lucky charm. Mateo was born the year that Argentina won the World Cup. And it's a big coincidence because actually my husband was born in the 86.
okay, elijo creer, many Argentinians were saying. Many things that were strange, but very particular about this World Cup were like in the direction of Argentina winning it. It's like,
No,
well,
and
of course.
it's true that something very crazy happened. The only match that Argentina lost was before Mateo was born.
Because you asked me if I believed in luck. What about you? Do you believe in luck?
I attribute many things to luck,
Okay.
things that have happened to me by chance. Like, for instance, walking around and finding money was
Okay.
a matter of luck, for instance. But
Okay. Yes,
probably it
I
has
agree.
to do with me looking to the floor whenever I'm walking instead of looking to the front, which is a very bad thing when you're walking. So, for example, that I would attribute to good luck. But I remember being very young, breaking a mirror, that it is believed that if you
Mhm.
break a mirror, that's going to bring you like 9 years of bad
Seven.
luck, or,
7 years
well, like
of bad luck.
7. And I was like, my parents are going to be angry because I broke a mirror, but I didn't have bad luck for 7 years.
And imagine 7 years. It's a long time. It's your whole primary school. My goodness.
Yeah, so I don't know if I believe in luck. I think that is what you were saying. We attribute many things to luck when actually it's about effort and working hard and trying to get the best of you.
Hmm.
Mm, so I would say, no, I don't believe much. However, I have to admit that especially when I was at university, I'm not a religious person. So I had this, my mom had given me this figure of a saint,
Hmm.
yes, that in theory is a saint of studies or something like that. I don't remember. And as I said, I'm not a religious person. However, I have to admit that I carried that thing in my pencil case in all my exams. So I think I was
Yeah.
attributing, I don't know if I was attributing luck to it, but it was like part of the ritual of going into the exam. Like, it made me feel at some point safer or something like this. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Something very common here is to have like a bracelet, a red bracelet
Mm-hmm.
that when babies are born, they wear that red bracelet, and when you buy a car, you put that somewhere in the car. In our case, what happened was that we were having really bad luck with one car. We sold the car, and from that moment onwards, we started to put the red bracelet in the car, and we never again had any problems with cars. I think that what is happening here is something more to something else, like something related to energies, maybe. When you feel good and you feel like protected and safe, your energy is different. So you attract different things.
Okay,
Mm,
so far we mentioned, sorry, we mentioned as bad luck, mirror.
well,
Well,
there are many, many other things that people think that can give you bad luck. For example, today, Friday the 13th, is considered to give you bad luck.
I
To
don't
give
know if someone knows the origin of this and would care to explain. Wonderful. I have no idea about the origin of this. Why Friday the 13th? Besides, is Friday in certain countries, but for other countries is bad luck Tuesday the 13th.
And in some other countries, they give a lot more importance to the number 13th. For example, in the US, there are some buildings that do not have number 13 as the number of a floor. So they go from 12 to 14.
I think in China happens the same, but not with number 13 because that's not their problem. So
No,
yeah,
it's number
some other number.
4. And I know about that one that the pronunciation of number 4 and the pronunciation of the word dead or death actually are very similar. So if you mispronounce the number 4, you are saying you are wishing someone to die. That's the reason behind it. Okay, so we were mentioning some of the myths around bad luck. We mentioned the number, we mentioned breaking the mirror, we didn't mention, but I am going to mention that when there are a certain number of people sitting at a table, I think it is, if there are, like, I think it is 13 people. If there are 13, it's bad luck. So many people put one more dish, like pretending that is someone else. Well, we have ladders and buildings.
People say that you shouldn't go under a ladder. I don't care for the explanation, honestly. It's like they say you shouldn't. I have done it many times, like walking
Yes,
under the ladder.
and nothing happens.
And when we were preparing this, I was sharing a story with you that I didn't go under a ladder. I went on the side because I was on the street. Suddenly, out of the blue, a bucket of paint fell all over me. So the only lucky thing about that was that it didn't hit my head. I can tell you, it didn't hit my head. Um, but if I had gone under the ladder, probably I would have had less paint on me. So I don't believe that that's bad luck.
Now that I'm thinking, something else associated with bad luck are black cats.
I was thinking of the poor black cats. And the one I have never been able to understand, and I don't know if this one is only of our, I don't think it's only of our country, is the thing of the salt. You shouldn't pass the salt directly to the person, like you need to put it on the table. And if by accident you give the salt shaker to the person, you need to spread salt on top of your shoulder or something like that.
Yeah, that part I don't know, but I have the explanation for the first part.
Okay.
Once a student told me that in the past, salt was expensive. So it was like a currency. Instead of paying with money, they used salt, right? So there were these big bags of salt. And the problem was that if I gave it to you and you accidentally dropped it, who has the money and who doesn't have the money? That was the problem. So for that reason, what they started to do is to put the salt, the bags of salt on the floor, like saying, okay, this is my payment. I put it here. And then you lift it, but I already paid you. That was like the explanation. So it's a very logical. It sounds very logical. I don't know why we continue carrying this, like to put the salt on the table and then the other person picks it up. So here comes the part when we tell our audience to leave their comments in the, you can choose, we have many places where you can do that. You can leave them down here in the Spotify. If you are in Spotify platform, you can listen to us in YouTube. You can drop your comment there too, or in our Instagram account, the English Capsules. The comment that we want you to leave is if you believe in luck and if you have a lucky charm.
Also, maybe if they know of other bad luck omens that we haven't mentioned, because
Sure.
I know that we skipped many, but well, maybe some of them are interesting and they decide to share them.
Okay, so before we go, remember to subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Give love to our content and spread the word to help our channel grow.
Also, remember that you can rate our episodes and comment on each capsule. Activate the bell so that you know when our next capsule is out. And take a look at the description and our Instagram account to take more advantage of our content.
Okay, so that's all for today. Bye for now.
Bye.